Okay, so this is the science forward exam question. So it has a little passage to read and then a question you have to answer. Okay, so it says armadillos. Armadillos are mammals that have many features to help them survive. Armadillos dig large holes in the ground to sleep and live in, and they eat insects and worms that live in the ground. All types of armadillos have a shell called a carapace, which is made up of hard pieces of bone, much like a turtle shell, that are connected to each other. The carapace can bend where the pieces of bones connect to each other, so it is both hard and flexible. Armadillos have poor eyesight, so they must rely on their other senses to help them survive. Armadillos must use their sense of smell and hearing to figure out what other types of animals are in the area. The armadillo can remember the scent of other armadillos and recognize them. So, this is the armadillo. These are the different parts that this talked about. We have the carapace. It's like that shell that protects it, right? The hard shell. You have its ears, nose, tongue, and claws. The question said, which statement best, that word best, describes the feature that is most useful when an armadillo is defending itself from predators? Defending itself. Okay. So let's go through each of the options and look for the best answer. Okay, so let's look at letter A. It says the carapace protects the sensitive areas of the armadillo from harm. Well, we know that the carapace is like a shell, and it references back into the text that the carapace is much like a turtle shell. Well, you know that turtle shells actually protect the soft underbody and the soft body of the turtle, right? So the carapace protects the sensitive areas of the armadillo from harm. I mean, that's very good. I that could protect them from harm, and it could use that to defend itself, right? You know, turtles hide in their shell, armadillos hide in their shell. So, I mean, maybe that's a very good statement. I don't know. We'll put a star next to it just to kind of keep it in our minds. We're not crossing it off because it's a very good answer. Let's look at letter B. The sense of smell protects the armadillo from other armadillos. Okay. So the sense of smell protects it. So if it was defending itself, remember, we're thinking about how the armadillo defends itself. The sense of smell, it says up here that the sense of smell helps them figure out what other types of animals are in the area. So it could help them run and hide or realize, hey, there's a predator around. Let me go hide, right? So that's a sense of smell protecting the armadillo from other armadillos. Well, I don't think it says that it wants to hide from other armadillos. I don't know if they really attack them. This question doesn't really talk about the armadillo defending itself. It just talks about how the smell can protect them. Well, it can only protect them because he can sense that they are there. It doesn't actually defend him against anything. It may give him some time or realize that they're there, but I I don't I would say not for letter B. It's a goodish answer, but it's not as good as letter A. It's not as good as letter A. All right, letter C. The long sticky tongue protects the armadillo from insects. Well, let's reference back the text and see what it says. It says they dig holes in the ground and they eat insects and worms that live in the ground. Okay, so they eat insects. I don't think that having that tongue protects them from insects. They're not they're not in danger from the insects, just like the other armadillos. They're not really in danger from them, right? So I would say no. Now, letter D, the claws protect the armadillo from other animals. Now, that's also a really good answer. I mean, claws can protect, defend you from an animal, right? If another animal's coming and defends you, you can defend yourself with claws. Let's look at here. It says the armadillo can remember the scent. Armadillos dig large holes in the ground to sleep in. All types of armadillos have shell called a carapace, which is made of hard pieces of bone. All right. So let's take a minute to think about these two. Let's look at the difference between the two. Okay. So thinking about them, they're both very similar, right? The claws protect the armadillo from other animals. Well, the claws actually help the armadillos dig large holes because if you know about animals, your history of animals, and you know those that live in holes, like moles, they have the creepy long, like weird claws, or anything that digs into the ground. Your dog digs into the ground, they use their claws, right? So they dig large holes in the ground. So they use their claws to dig the holes to find food and to find a home but that isn't defending them from they don't use it to attack other animals or to defend themselves from the other animals. They usually just hide in their shell, and their shell is hard enough that it protects them from the danger. So it doesn't really defend itself from predators. So I would say these are two good answers, but letter A is the best answer. Okay, so again, B, the sense of smell protects the armadillo from other armadillos. It doesn't protect them from other armadillos. They don't need to be protected from them, right? So that statement doesn't really work. The long, sticky tongue protects the armadillo from insects. Well, we said that they eat insects, so the tongue gives them their food. And then the claws protect the armadillo. We said that the claws used for digging. And there is evidence in this text, right? Digging large holes. Okay. So reference the text, look at the picture. It all helps. And then if you are in between two, think of the best answer because they were both really good answers. But letter A was just the best answer.